What's up, everybody? Episode 44 starts now in 30 seconds. Guys, before we get started, I want to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. For those that know me, know how much I love to support small businesses. I love to support local and small businesses, local and independent businesses, and so with that being said, I love supporting independent films, independent filmmakers. Um, Recently, I had Phil Herman. I've had Michael W. Green on. These are independent filmmakers. So I please go out there and support them. Check out their films. Check out their shows. Whatever it is that they're doing. I want to encourage people to support these folks. Okay. Uh, and speaking of that, as a matter of fact, I had Phil Herman on episode 37. I'm gonna have his information on. I'm also have Michael W. Green's information in the description. Speaking of independent, that's my next guest. He's an independent filmmaker, creator, director, Curshion Royal Jones. What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with me and being on this podcast, man. You are so awesome, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. I'm glad to be here right now.
Good, man. Before again, let me ask you how you feeling. I saw on. I was a little late to it.
Yeah,
but I saw on Facebook that you were ill. How you been feeling?
man. I'm feeling great, man. It's been a crazy month. I know we were supposed to do this like a month ago, and I fell ill. I had a hypertension crisis, which is like lower levels. Like dang near had stroke-like symptoms with paralysis on my left side. Was paralyzed on my left side. Had to learn how to walk again. I got back real quick because it wasn't a brain bleed, stroke, or anything like that. But I'm in physical therapy now. This time has been revealing, man. This is a long time. Recovering. Team telling me we recover is kind of hard when you're an entrepreneur. I know we'll probably get into that, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling so much better.
That's good. God is good, man. God is good.
Yeah.
God is giving you new life within a month. You have to learn how to. A month?
Yeah, it just like I said, they just call it temporary paralysis, and
but still,
yeah.
I mean, that's you're a warrior. That's awesome. Yeah. That's good.
So much.
That's the warrior inside of you, and so God has blessed you, and that's good, man. He's giving you new life.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, so that's good. That's important. That's we supposedly we were going to do this a month ago. Most importantly, your health is good, and you're doing better, and you are recovering good, and you look good.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about your background, man. Tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Let's start with that.
Okay, man. So name is Curshion Royal Jones. Originally from Sacramento, California. Born and raised there. Grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco. From there, man, I didn't have an easy upbringing at all. A single mother. People say I grew up in the projects. What you see right now, when you say you're not a product of your environment, what you see now was not my environment. It was drugs, violence, gangs, shootings, death, drugs. And I was fortunate to have sports that took me out of that environment. And I moved to Denver, Colorado to live with my brother. My mother, God rest her soul, she passed away in 2012. And I was able to move to Colorado to have a better life. Move with my brother, then my biological mother, she did move out there. Like I said, I was a high school prodigy football player, real good in football. I played running back, and then I switched over to receiver when I went to Colorado. Football was the one I was able to express, but where the arts came was in 8th grade when my brother did a church play and I was able to act. So I was in between being a thespian as well being a football player, but I stuck in football. Football paved the way, went to college. But I grew up in Denver, Colorado too, my 11th and 12th grade. One thing unique about my story is in high school, have you ever seen the movie Blindside? Um, so
Yes.
my high school football coach took me in, and they're Caucasian. That's when I was 16 years old. So when you hear me say mom and dad, or talk about grandpa or grandma when it comes to my children, they were my white parents. That's what I call them. They didn't legally adopt me, but they took me in as my high school football coach. I was 16 years old, junior, going into my senior year, and they took me in. A whole different lifestyle, better environment from me, and so football got me out. I was always a good kid. It was just my environment, and people always thought I was gonna go to the NFL, because I was that good in football, but I was able to fall on to sports through my high school. And then that's what led me to go to college to play football and to major in psychology and theater. So that's like a little rough of the first phase of my life.
Okay, and well, tell us a little bit more about. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you
Yeah,
were adopted, and
yeah,
tell us more about that. About how that was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
How that home was.
yeah,
How was home and.
yeah. So when I was a junior, like I said, my mother did the best that she could. You know, she was a warrior, single mother. She struggled with her own demons. I could say she was a functional alcoholic.
Mhm.
And did drugs, stuff like that. But kept a roof over my head. But it came to a time when I was like 16, and I used to travel all the way across school where I stayed at in Colorado, like all the way on the other side. I went to Overland High School, and I used to stay like on the west side, which was far, and I used to catch the bus like 4 o'clock in the morning, man. And to get to school, I was like the first one there, the last one to leave. People could tell
Wow.
you my story, but sports, 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 sports. So it was one time when my mother kicked me out the house when I was like 15 years old,
Oh man.
coming back home, drinking, woke me up because I used to work full time in high school too. After football, all that stuff, I used to go work and then go home. That was like every single day. And one day she just woke up drunk, and like she kicked me out the house. And this is the first time I like encountered a demon. One thing about me, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God, and has directed my whole entire life. And we can get to that more, but that's the first time I encountered a demon. And she came
Wow.
to me and said, "I'm gonna kill you." That's my mother in the form thing. "I'm gonna kill you." So she went to go get a knife and like rush at me, and I had to like slam my mom to the ground. I'm like, "What's going on?" She kicked me out when I was like
Mhm.
15. So I went to go stay with my best friend, and then my brother was living there too. So I used to stay with my brother. So I was done, man. I like I said, I was growing up in the hood in California, and I didn't want to deal with what I was dealing with there. So at my high school banquet, I told people that I might not be coming back to school next year. Like next football season, everybody's like, "What?" You know what I mean? I'm a good football player going into my senior year. They're like, "What? You're not gonna do what?" So the one I call dad coach, they had a meeting about me, and they would tell their story selfishly. I was a good football player. They wanted me to stay there, etc. But at the same time, they had a meeting about me, about knowing my situation, and they were empty nesters. You know what I mean? My brother and
Mhm.
sister on that side, they're already grown in college. You know what I mean? In the military, and they came to me, my football coach, and said, "I know your situation. Empty nester. You can come stay with us." And I told him, "I'm not staying with no white people." I literally said that. I said, "I'm not staying with." You know what I mean? Like that was my main mentality. But they went to go speak to my mom, and I thought my mom was gonna say, "No, you ain't gonna do that." She said it was okay. They went to go speak to her. So I felt like she just like gave up on me, even though I'm like, 15, I'm 16 at this time. And I felt like she gave up on me. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And we're in the same state. I'm like, I can go live with them. You know what I mean? I thought you, even though we had our problems, I was thinking like, no, my sons ain't gonna live with somebody. So I said no, but going back to school, I was just like, something was telling me back then. I didn't know that. It was this God telling me like this would be a good situation. So, they had a meeting, and then I went to go stay with them. It was different. You know what I mean? This is like the first time like really eating food like at the table and all that stuff. So they used to have a big house, and I used to stay in the basement. They called the Bat Cave, right? So the first time, I wasn't used to like eating family dinner at the table. Going after school, talking about school and all that stuff. You get your food, go downstairs, whatever. I did that for a couple of times. And, my coach, I used to go from practice, taking me home. I used to go get my food, go downstairs and eat. I was so used to just being by myself, And one day he says, if you don't get your butt upstairs, coach voice, go upstairs. And he was like, this is what families do. They eat at this table. You know what I mean? They discuss school. They discuss this. So it was structure. I wasn't so used to structure. I wasn't used to structure. I was just doing what I was doing, And it's the first time we got to talk about problem structure and so much vital stuff that they said to me of you don't get reward for being a good kid. I wasn't the one in the gangs. I wasn't one doing that. So, all praises on me. That's a good kid. Courage ain't doing that. They said, you don't get praise for that, for doing the right thing. I never really looked at it like that. And I was just like, wow, that really resonated. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tough love. But my mother, Pam, she didn't let me slack. Like, I used to just breeze through classes. She put me like all AP classes. You know what I mean? She put me on all this stuff because get into it. I was trying to pass clearinghouse, to play NCAA, but I went through so many schools, and I was like half a credit short. So my senior year, I'm taking 9 courses, not the regular senior. I'm in class every single day, every single period. Had to eat lunch inside, my classroom. They had to approve for me to live inside the classroom. So living in the house, it was a great dynamic. It started for me being myself to having team dinners at the house, and friends coming over to the house, and my friends used to say, you out there in a rich area, whatever. I'm like, bro, these are middle class people that worked hard for the money. It wasn't like that, but our way of thinking when you're younger, this and this. And I had friends, parents that have money that live right over there. So it's just like, no, it wasn't the same thing. But this bond, I thought it was only supposed to be to 18. I thought I was supposed to live there, you know what I mean? Finish school and then go to college. But this has been eternity, man. I've been my kids call them grandpa or grandma. That's when I was 16 years old. I'm 36 years old now. That's when I was 17 years old. So that's why I call it The Blind Side. I know there's a lot of stories out there like that, but that was the closest thing when that movie came out because my mother Pam did the same thing to me. Like if in the movie, she had to go get the driver's license and they wouldn't let her give it. And she had to like, oh, because I'm white, I can't be, you know what I mean? It was like all this stuff because it wasn't a legal adoption. I was too old, you know what I mean? Too older to be a legal adoption. Right. My brother was still alive and all that stuff. But yeah, man, that was upbringing. It was great, man. She's a physical therapist and coach is a football coach. So I didn't have it easy, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's the beauty of it, man, was even though when I applied clearinghouse, I went to the same college they went to and graduated. It was pretty cool. So just like the movie, I went to William Jewell College, very prestigious liberal arts school, man. And it was like one of the best decisions in my life, man. It challenged me and it was cool. I get to go. My sister went to that school. Mom and dad went to that school, you know? So that's just like a little bit, but the dynamics was great, man. That's my mom and dad, and that's been family since I was 16 years old.
I love it, man. That's great story. Thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing and for being honest and being open about your struggles too. And I know that's not always easy to share. It's not always easy to share.
Yeah.
So now talk to me about your faith. I know you told me you're a man of faith as well. How when did you encounter God? When did you have when did you come to God? When did you come to Jesus?
Yes, man. So like I said, my biological mother had, she had faith. That's what she did, have faith. I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't do any of that. So the unique story is my brother, my biological brother, name is James Guyton. He's still part of my life. He moved to Texas because of me. He lives here, always been example if it was bad and good. So when my brother, he was a big time gang member in California, rolling 90 Crips. And we used to we lived in the blood territory, so he never was there. And, he used to come, give us money, food, and stuff, but he was a big gang member. And one day, real quick, a guy used to come to the G. It's called G Parkway. He used to come in the hood and ask people to go to church. And everybody was like, I ain't going to church. I ain't going to church. My brother's smoking and drinking. I think he's like 15 at this time, right? And I think I'm 9. So he's like 5 years older than me. And he kept asking. I guess one day my brother was on the low end because we didn't have it easy growing up, right? And one day he said, man, I'll go to church with you. And my brother never been saved. He got saved there, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Like, this is me seeing this when I'm 9, trying to follow after my brother's footsteps, even though he didn't let me do none of that stuff he was doing. I always been a great older brother. To see him go away and come back, I knew there was a higher being out there, right? This is me at 9 years old. I said, my brother was just smoking and drinking, big gang member, doing all this stuff, gang banging, and he goes to church, and he never's been the same, bro. Like, came home, throwing away all his stuff, all that. Like, when I tell you the Holy Spirit transformed his life. So that was my encounter of seeing something bigger than that. So I started chasing after that. He was like the patriarch of our family. You know what I mean? Like, so he going to church. They call him Radicals of Christ. I mean, he's preaching in the hood. I mean, it's a radical change, bro. When I tell you, I know God is real, I know the Holy Spirit is real, and I get more in stories because it radically changed my brother. We thought my brother would have been dead by 16 years old. That's how big he was in the gangbanging. You know what I mean? And we didn't see that. So me just going to church, following, didn't know the relationship part. I'm just following my brother, right? Following my brother. So it was like 15 years old, man. I caught the Holy Spirit at church and speaking in tongues and never any of that. It was just my personal encounter. This is why I always tell people, I said, whatever the stuff, you don't have to believe in what I believe in, because I know the way, truth, and life, it's Jesus Christ. Because my experience, whatever you say is fine, but I know the young man I was and the young man my brother was, and what we have came from is only but the goodness of God, right? Amen. Amen. And I completely understand. And I told people, you can say whatever you want to say about religion, but you cannot say nothing about my experience and encounter. You can never say nothing. We don't talk about that a lot because we're too focused on the religion part. So me following after God, me chasing after God, I fell in love with God. I had a personal relationship to where me and my brother started doing ministry. We started controlling the young adults ministry, youth ministry, drama ministry, starting the drama ministry at the Potter's House in Denver, Colorado. You know what I mean? And so I was immersed in that, just following after God, but yet, I was being lukewarm here, because, I'm trying to follow in, just life, right? But I encountered God when I was 15 years old, bro. And I've been on fire through the ups and downs, through all that, because all my conviction comes from the Holy Spirit. That's just the main thing. I'm convicted all the time, man. So I do what I do now, and I know we're going to get more story. I do this for ministry. My filming.
What you do now is
right now is for ministry.
Well, I saw that film. I saw the film of which it was very, very hard to watch. Not because it was bad. It's just very hard to see the stories of one of the of the girls of the women being yeah, man.
Yeah,
it was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Why? Being a husband, being a father. My daughter's 28 years old.
Wow.
Oh, she's gonna be 28 in I know I look young. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She's gonna be 28 in December. She's not a baby, but to me she is.
Yeah.
And just to think those women so young being trafficked, it was a tough movie. Great job, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Great job. It was tough to watch. It was that impactful.
Yeah.
So I guess so I see that you dedicate. So that's what you do. You do it for the to
tell stories.
That's your experience. It's your influence is God.
Yeah, my influence is God. Everything that I do, everything surrounding. And I told people the reason why I got into this industry, I was an actor full time. That's what I did first. So after I left college, I went to acting school in New York. I went to Stedler Studio for acting. Acting full time, and right in acting school, I met my mentor, who created that show that you see, Michael Boogie Pickney, director of Boogie Vision. That's how I got introduced to Hollywood. 19 years old, acting, going to acting school. I always knew his work because he was Spike Lee's first AD for 17 years.
Wow.
And I fell in love with that because one of my good friends, Hollywood actor Mark John Jeffries, I was on set with him going to his acting classes, and he's like, "Hey man, come to set with me." I'm following with, I was his cameraman, following him with cameras, doing all this stuff. And I met Michael, and I seen something in his spirit because Michael's a God-fearing man too. And I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be acting. Like, for real, it's like I was a good actor. I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be acting. And right then and there, I asked him to mentor me. And it took him about a year, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But he got back to run. He's been mentoring me since I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And when I tell you, the reason why I do this is to share the gospel, to green light projects. I had to go through these trials and tribulations. I had to go through this because of the people that's going to come after me, right? This is ministry. I tell people, what do they do to Christ? You know what I mean? This stuff is going to be part of my journey. I'm trying to follow after Christ, right? So I said I want to share the gospel, green light projects, and I want to tell stories. You know what I mean? Like that's the main thing. Like that's the reason why I do what I do. My first business production company was Arsa Royal Productions, and we had Arsa Royal Studios because I was serving under Bishop T.D. Jakes here. That's how I got to Texas, serving under Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I was at Young Adults Ministry there doing drama. But in college, going back and forth, how this all full circle. In college, when I was in acting school, that's when I first picked up the camera, and I was telling stories, bro. I told you everything about story. I was telling real life stories of people. It was called the Who I Am series. If you ever Google me, you see that stuff. It was called the Who I Am series. The Who I Am series was a documentary series about telling people's life. The tagline was everyone had a story. Because of my story, in college, I went to prestigious college. It was mostly Caucasians there, only a few of us black people there playing football. And I figured out, and that's why I said God don't really see colors. He sees the human race. This is when I figured it out because it was this. I was on campus, knowing I'll come from the hood. This black boy come from the hood, my experience. I'm sitting right next to my white counterpart, human being. They feel like they're going to blow their brains out, and I feel like I'm going to blow my brains out. That is too common. They feel like they're going to blow their brains out because they ain't getting A's, like trying to commit suicide. I feel like I was blowing my brains out because it was so hard in life, going through the hood, not want to be alive. And you know what I mean? So that all started through telling people stories. Like I said, it's always been for telling people stories. And I said I was self-taught. The editing you see I do, producing, everything was self-taught other than the mentors that was doing stuff for me, you know? And everything I do is for God, man. Cue and Coda, I know we're going to get there. Cue and Coda means the beginning and the end. So Q is the beginning, Coda is the end, Alpha and Omega. Everything that I do has God in it, you know?
That's amazing. And good for you, man. I'm proud of you because you could have done something else with your life.
Yep.
You granted, good. I mean, good that you decide to follow your brother's footsteps.
Yeah.
And seek after God, because he could have done something else with it. He could have continued down that, like you said, he was expected to be dead by 16.
Yeah.
You probably the same.
Yep.
You decided to take another road and go, you know what? Thank you, Lord. Everything for your glory.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. I wish everybody was like that. And like you said, it has nothing to do with color, it has nothing to do where you're from. It doesn't matter whether you're Latino, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter where you're from.
I tell people I don't really have, this is honestly, yes, I know I'm black. Yes, I know the stuff that goes on for being a black man. Yes, I know in society being a minority. Yes, we know these things. Yes, I encounter them, but they really don't affect me like all these other people. That's not my main thing. Those problems that I see people have, I don't have those problems. Not because there's problems going on, but I don't attract that. I tell people I don't think negative, just off of negative because everybody is negative in this social media, you know? But everything hasn't been peaches and cream, man. If you really look at my story, it's a lot of great things, but I had a lot of persecution. If you see that I created a book that called Getting Through the Crisis from Pain to Purpose. It was my crisis. People don't understand my crisis. While I do film and mental health and conscious film and different type of stuff is because when I was 23 years old, when my mother died, I tried to commit suicide. And I created a book out of it. So I understand what it is to be depression 1. I understand what that means to be manic. I understand because I was in a mental hospital, and that's when God, amongst everything else, part of the story, rededicated my life. Being in the mental hospital, the Lord told me, live for me fully or don't live for me at all. I was in the hospital after trying to commit suicide in 2012 after my mom died because I felt so guilty because, I didn't get to say I love you. You know what I mean? The last words I said to her was, I call you back, because she always called us drunk. And then 3 hours later, she was dead. So I lived with that guilt for months, and I couldn't deal with it. And I tried to commit suicide or taking on my pills, and I wake up in the hospital. Then I go to a mental hospital, and that's where everything was birthed since 2012. Even though before that, 2012 was where
you're reborn.
That's where it was reborn. But everything you see me do, God told me, because I dropped out of college because of depression. I dropped out of the stuff. And the crazy thing is I went back to the college I dropped out and finished when I was 23. That's how I got into
awesome.
Adder. So it was like a full circle moment. And God said, I have so much for you. And I accomplished so much stuff, bro. But whatever question you have, we can go more into it. But I encountered a lot too while I'm standing. Like, amazing, I encountered so much and still encounter so much. But I know why I do what I do. That's the main thing. I know why I do what I do.
I love that. I love it. That's awesome. That's amazing. Question: and are you still part of the Porter's House, or you're?
No, I haven't. No, I'm still affiliated with people, the Potter's House. But yeah, for sure. I give a lot of credit to Bishop T.D. Jakes. He showed me a lot. I was in the room. I give credit because one of my first major contracts before I started the new contract was with the Potter's House. They first gave me my opportunity, and once was with my ex-wife, because we started a business together and we did all that stuff. And I give so much credit. I was in the room hearing it with all the giants watching, and I decided to apply that to what I was doing. So I have not been back to the Potter's House. I watch it on TV and all that stuff, but I haven't been back to the Potter's House, man, to like 2018, 2019, to be honest. Yeah.
Where do you congregate now? Where do you go to church now?
Right now, I'm literally just an evangelist. I go to majority churches. Like my girlfriend now, like she goes to Shoreline. I go to Shoreline. I go to Gateway. Like
great pastor. Great. Oh, yeah. He is amazing. I saw him. We saw him. What conference was it? I think it was the one in Florida. I think he went to the one in Florida. He was there, and great story. Great pastor. Yeah. When we moved over here, we were thinking about going to Shoreline, but it was a little too far. It's a Garland, I believe, right?
Yep. No. Yeah. Garland too.
Yeah. So we go to a church called Sea Life Community Life Church.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. So right now, I just until God tell me to set. But the main thing too, I know you got more to ask. Like I feel God is calling me back to ministry inside the four walls for some reason right now. Because of the lack of stuff that's happening. But like I said, my platform or pulpit is Hollywood right now. You know what I mean? Is the movies, because I'm able to minister. I'm able to talk to people on set with all the crazy stuff. You come into our studio here, you feel the glory of God. You feel people they change when they're inside our headquarters here, and that's for a reason, But yeah, don't forget, with all great things, there's a lot of persecution that happens.
There's always somebody out there that's going to be trying to knock you out, trying to knock you down, and find something negative about it. But you know what? You just got to press on. Yeah, press on and seek God and press on. So that was definitely one of my questions. And where do you get your inspiration from? And it's obviously from the Lord. Yes. And where do you normally film at? Is it locally, or do you go to New York, California, or everywhere in between?
Everywhere between. Whatever it's like. Right now we're based here, but we shot in New York, shot in Atlanta, shot in California, so wherever we migrate to. But the last 3 years, don't forget, our company was created during the pandemic. So we were coming out of the pandemic trying to figure out all this stuff. So we're literally getting out of the figure it out. Even though the great stuff, the movie, probably gonna talk about like all this stuff, like because we have a movie in the movie theater coming out next month. But we really was just focused on TV and film, and we stopped like doing commercials and all the certain type of stuff. But we're getting back to all that because we are a full service production, but we mostly do things local right now. And we'll start going outside again soon.
Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. And how long does filming normally take? For example, Twisted Hearts. That's the one that's coming out next month, right?
Yep, next month on the 11th. Yep,
October 11th. All right, and that's gonna be in the theaters, right? All
everywhere.
across.
Yep, all across.
That's
Yep.
exciting, man. That's good. That's
Yeah.
exciting. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. How long did filming take?
8 days.
It's
We shot
a full
all-
feature film.
a full feature film. We shot it in 8 days. Amazing cast, amazing story. I can send you a screener too. After we get out of here, I'll send you the screener. You can watch it. I can't do it justice. I don't know if you ever went to the Instagram and seeing what people talking about it on Twisted Hearts movie. What they're talking about is true, man. The movie is so good because it touches on therapy, relationship, self-love, self-care, mental health. It's all in one house, and we hit on so much subjects in between. It's so strategic what our writer did. And we shot in 8 days.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
8 days.
And how long is the film?
What'd you say?
How long is the film?
90 minutes.
8 days.
Yeah, 8 days.
That
8
is
days.
awesome.
83
That is
pages. 8 days. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So not a lot of takes then, right? You guys
One
actually
to three takes. And
really?
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing. That's good.
we shot with 2 cameras for the long dialogue, but usually our DP likes to shoot with one, but we had to speed it up, so we had to shoot with 2 cameras and certain things. Dialogue majority was 1. The heavy dialogue was 2, you know. But 8 days, man. A lot of great planning, you know.
Well, I'm sure it did. I mean,
Yeah.
for because I'm assuming you were on a deadline if you didn't, so obviously it had to take good planning. How long does filming normally take for you guys to how long does it normally take?
No more than 14 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
Even
is
the industry
amazing.
does that. We're not talking, don't forget, you got independent, you got Hollywood, you got all that stuff. Like even the stuff you see, BET and all these different things, they take no more than 14 days. BET, TV1, all that stuff, like the smaller studios, stuff like that. Nobody's really taking a lot of days unless you got millions of dollars and you're able to draw it out 22, or you're doing a TV show, you know, TV shows. Other than that, people are not going to pass that long anymore.
So this film that's coming out next month. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yes,
if you can.
Yeah, I can tell you. So good thing about this, we did a qualifying run in May. So qualifying run is we put it into the theaters, but just one theater to see how it tested the market. It's called test market, right?
Okay.
We went through Look Cinema. That was like May 31st to like June 5th. It did amazing. That's how we got the recognition of the film. So if you go to Twisted Heart Movie on Instagram, or you just Google Twisted Heart Movie, you'll see everybody talking about it. Look Cinema said the movie of the summer. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was such a great thing. So the movie's about 3 couples all going to a couples retreat. And we're touching on infidelity, sexuality, divorce, all these different things. Nobody's married, but there is a couple. And what happens there is they have to switch partners in the house, and that's when you start seeing these deficiencies in the relationship, you know. And then you have a unorthodox counselor by pays amazing comedian and actress Coco Brown, and she's there in the beginning, and then she lets them live life, and then she comes back and she just puts these different nuggets. So it's about couples really going through their problems, you know, understanding therapy, understanding looking into the mirror. We're talking about manhood, you know what I mean? We're talking about mental health. We talk about relationship therapy, self-love. So that's what majority what Twisted Hearts is. And I can't really explain what we thought it would be. We just said we want to do a great movie because we're tired of doing everybody else's movie and all the other things, and we wanted to take a risk on us. And there's so much we're learning right now, JC, so much till this day, because what we've done with Twisted Hearts, we fully Q and Coda is fully a distribution company through the theaters, just like Sony, Time,
Mhm.
Universal, all that. We are now a distributor. So we have to learn this real time because we didn't go through like Sony. We didn't go through Freestyle, like all these top great distribution companies. We had to do this ourselves with a zero
Mm.
stream budget. So I'm learning that now, like every single day. So I didn't know the movie. Honestly, we knew it was gonna look good. We're big on quality. We're big on story. We got a great writer, but I didn't know it was going to be received like this. Honestly,
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know. The reason I get to talk about it is because we did it was on paper. We have amazing director Michael Boogie Pickney. Remember my mentor that got me to it? He moved it here, and the crazy thing was this. I said, all these years he was training me. I was a mentee, became a brother, now became producing partners. You know what I mean? And I was able to hire my mentor to direct my film. And this is like our fourth project together, you know?
That's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
like
Went full circle.
He directed Unfavorable Odds as well. Like I hired him for Unfavorable Odds, Traffic.
That was a funny movie, by the way. That was a funny
Yeah.
movie. I
I'm
saw that film. I saw that film last week. It was a very funny film.
Yeah, I'm
It
a
was a good film.
man. So yeah, so Twisted Hearts, man, just like you said, if you see that right there, it says love is hard, love is
Yeah.
fun, love is twisted.
Uh,
So yeah.
okay, so you did a first run in March or May
Hey,
through June, right?
yep.
When did you film it then? At the
We
beginning of the
filmed it
year?
last September, a year ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's been a year.
So why wait until now to put it back out?
Put it back
To
out
put out
because you have
or to put it
windows.
out, period.
Yeah. So we didn't want to go straight to streaming. We wanted to make because once you go to theater and you have very success, the business side, it gets more recognition for better
Mhm.
deals for streaming and all that stuff. That's the business side, right? So it's money. We didn't have the money. We still don't
Okay.
have the money. This is faith. When I tell you it's faith, we still don't have the money to push our movie the way that we want to push it, but God is doing this. When you see the
Amen.
results of this is God. This is God. And we're very transparent. We know we have a great story. We got great people supporting. This is God pushing this movie like this because we don't have a big P&A budget to put it out there. This is word of mouth, couple little stuff here. The tour we're doing here, you know what I mean? We have a big event at Howard University. Have you seen that? That's coming October 8th. We're doing these little screeners, what you do and stuff like that. So the reason why we did the qualifying was to test the market. We got real numbers what our film can do in those markets because it's sold out in every market that we were at.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm saying Dallas, Atlanta, Tampa had like 50%, Redlands had 50%. So the key major markets, we were like, hey, we got something. So that's what we started to attack. And that's what got the theaters, the bigger theaters, and how we got distribution was they seen what our movie did. And we told them we can get people in your seats, and everything is money for them, right? So we wanted to do a bigger push. So it's kind of hard because when you don't have that big P&A money, you don't have these big star people, and you're going against blockbusters. Don't forget, behind the scenes, there's a schedule when all blockbusters or wide releases come out. So this window, and this is all prayer. Me and a good friend, who's my project manager, her name is Vanessa, and we were looking at when it was a good time this fall to put it out. The week that is coming out, JC, is during Mental Illness Awareness Week. I told you it's all. So October 11th, the 6th through the 11th is Mental Illness Awareness Week. October 6th through the 11th is a Mental Illness Awareness Week. October 10th is Mental Health Day. And we released the next day. That's all God. So we decided just to open that door in the mental health and talk because that's what the people were saying when they received it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the reason why we waited now because you got to give a breathing room and you're not always going to get accepted during those weeks. We have to really say, okay, what blockbuster's not coming out during this time?
Yeah, you have to be strategic.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're going. I mean, I'm ignorant when it comes to all this because
Yeah.
I'm not into film and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love film, but I'm not a film guy.
Yeah.
So I did not know that you needed. Again, it makes sense, but I did not know you needed a budget or money to put into the theater.
Oh yeah. So
I didn't
there's
know
two
that.
ways. So nowadays, that's what we did. Usually, people are paying for screens, right? You pay for the screens. That's why these budgets be so big. But nowadays, since the lack of attendance, now these theaters are partnering with production companies. What that means is you're not putting upfront money, but they're taking a percentage for ticket sales, right? That's when you look right now, all the
Okay.
major studios, independent, they got those things. They're in 2,000 theaters. We're only like 300 plus, right? Like 600 top. Like we have to hit these mom and pops. We have to hit the major things. But the major theater we did get was AMC. That's one of the top. That's how we got our distribution. They accepted us into their program. They only accept 4-8 films a year.
Oh wow.
So when you see people doing premieres and all that stuff, they're not in theater. They're just doing a premiere. We're actually a distributor through the theaters.
So
So
you will be in AMC
AMC,
theaters.
we're AMC theater everywhere. You know,
That's amazing. That's awesome.
yeah. So now, if you go online, people say, "When is it coming out? When can you see here?" Because it wasn't everywhere. It was only in Atlanta. It was only one day in New York. We sold that out. Dallas, we sold out Dallas, and there was in Redlands, California, and Tampa. We didn't know nobody out there, so that's why it was like 50%, right? But our major hot markets, the main markets, sold out the times and screens that they gave us. So yeah, you have to have money. The money P&A is print and advertising, and that's marketing money. That's where all the money goes. You can have a great product and it won't do nothing if you don't put money behind it. Or you can have a horrible project and you think it's not going to do nothing and people got money to put it behind it. It's about who you can reach. So when you're going after investors and you're going after people trying to raise crowdfunding, because that majority of that money goes into to push your film. So yeah, you have to have money.
What was your budget for this film? As you went for filming, during filming, what was your budget like?
300,000.
300,000.
Yeah.
Well, and
300,000.
and you filmed here. That was filmed
Yeah,
here in
Fort Worth.
Texas, right?
Yeah, Fort Worth.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow,
Fort Worth. It was at Lone Star Mansion, the
really?
wedding venue. Yeah, everything was done there. And that 300,000 is everything custom, everything that we have to use for, you know what I mean? So, paying people back, getting
Yeah.
money, all this stuff. We went through a doozy too. So I want to give a shout out while we're here is Ellen Hambrick. She's our business partner. Before she became our business partner, an investor while doing this film dropped out because they were newcomers. So during filming, we didn't know how we was going to finish this. We didn't understand. She came in and saved us, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so you see her name, Ellen Habrick. She's executive producer here as well.
I see it right there behind you. I see her name.
Yeah, so she's one of the co-owners of Cue Coda too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, she came in. She's a guardian angel, man. Came in and she believed in us, man. That's why I keep saying it. Every platform again, she believed in us when a lot of people did not believe in us, and she put her money where her mouth's at. You know what I mean? So amazing woman of God as well, and she has business that she owns Amazon trucks and all that stuff. So if anybody's looking for a job, she's hiring. So put that out there. But yeah, that's what the budget was, but that's a custom of a lot of different stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, it wasn't easy, and it's not easy because these next 3 weeks is the most important of this push. That's when the marketing and stuff like that. And we're when I tell you, and I love this, when you see the success, we have great success as in word of mouth, putting it out there, analytics. The success we're going to have now is going to be all God because we do not have the P&A money that we need to push it this way at all.
Well, that faith that you have in him, which I love.
Yeah,
I love the faith that you have in him, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what it should be about.
Yeah,
he will. I see. He will help you. He will obviously make this big, and in name it by the grace of God and through him, this will be big. You have my word that I will definitely share it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will definitely be pushing it on my end. I don't have a following, but but I will. I do have friends. I will encourage as many as possible to go watch this film.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there any project or anything that you would say I will not be a part of this or wouldn't want to be a part of that? Why?
Yeah, it's like demonic stuff. You know what I mean? Like I haven't done scary movie right now. It had to be like a scary movie spoof. We have a scary movie spoof, like a Martin, I mean, like
Uh-huh.
a Wayne's Brothers scary movie type of film we're about to do. It's the stupidest thing, but it's gonna make so much money. But that's like side project. One of my business partner wants to do it, like, but that's like a spoof. But anything that's just that makes my spirit uneasy, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be purposeful.
Yeah.
Tasteful,
I
like
feel you. I
it has
feel
to
you.
make sense. If people know me, it just has to make sense.
I feel
And
you.
if I do it and it doesn't go against what I believe, it's probably just because of the money to provide. You know what I mean? But other than that, you probably won't see my name on there. You probably won't do like that. Like that's just the business side. Like I said, I'm a realist. That's just the business side of it. But I don't do like
Have
nudity in my films and all that
Okay.
stuff. Like I don't. Like you might see something provocative, but it's because of the story that we're trying to tell, or it might be a comedy type of thing. But you won't see us do the booty shaking, pole dropping, like with sex sale stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like openly, our sex sale is strategic. Like in Twisted Hearts, the girls are in bikini. It's a summer. Cool. You know somebody's gonna like that. It's very strategic with doing, but like a rated R stuff, it's gonna be rated R because it's a dark thriller or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, that's stuff I wouldn't do. It got to feel right in my spirit. People know that I don't take everything. You know?
Yeah. Makes sense. Have you rejected anything so
Yeah,
far in
absolutely,
your
all the time,
career?
all the time,
Okay. Okay.
absolutely all the time. Like, I'm sorry, I'm from the hood. I don't do hood movies. I don't like my
Yeah.
hood movie is gonna be like something like Powered. You know what I mean? Or like The Shy and stuff like that. These are stories that go on. You know what I mean? Like it gotta the Goodfellas, Scarface, like stuff like that's good content, you know.
Yeah. Or if you're gonna do a hood movie, is how somebody got out of the hood.
It has a good
Your
story.
story is a great story. I mean, your brother's story. If I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm making a movie out of me
okay,
right
there you
now.
go.
I'm
There
making a
you go.
movie.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, he calls me
I
coach.
figured.
Yeah.
I figured because I mean the story. Your story is so impactful.
Yeah.
In the little short time that you shared with me,
Yeah.
it was huge, huge. Your
Yeah.
brother's story is amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to whatever else God has in store for you and how you're gonna, you know, how you're gonna it's gonna come out. What are your ultimate goals for your career and for your
Okay.
life?
Yeah. I want to leave a legacy. I always tell like when people said the movie, when you want to get out this movie, it's always been my same thing with any movie. I want to let somebody see themselves in it. You know what I mean? Like that was me. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and it changed my life. You know what I mean? Like that one teacher changed my life. Like I want to spread the gospel of the most unorthodox way, like Jesus did, and that's through films, TV, television, counseling, talking. Um, uh, preaching, whatever that is right now. I want to leave a legacy, and I want to text. Right now, I'm getting older. I want to touch the next generation through with everything I want to do. You know,
Amen.
um,
Amen.
that's what I want to do. Like during this time, because I almost died a month ago. You know, and honestly, this is not the first time I almost died. It's crazy. It's so much stuff. It's like so much time. Like I almost died like 3 times, man. It's crazy, right? Um,
What? Tell me about that. What
yeah.
do you mean?
So 2015, I have a blood clotting disorder called Factor Five. So 2015, I had pulmonary embolism and a blood clot from my leg, DVT. All these people that's dying from PEs, I had three of them, man.
Wow.
And three of them because I was mad because I had to take blood thinners. I'm like, man, I never had blood clot. Stupid and young. Like, so it's 2015. I had a DVT, which is the blood clot. you know what I mean, in my vein underneath my kneecap. It started in my leg and it went up and it spread everywhere. And I could not breathe. And I was like ICU for 10 days and all that stuff. So like that was a crazy situation 2015. It came out of nowhere too. It's like I'm always trying to get taken out. I'm always trying to get taken out. I said my life, if I could put it in the Bible, is Job. That is I always say God always says, "Have you considered my faithful servant Curshion?" You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want to do, but you can't kill him. You know what I
And
mean?
well, and that's I was just gonna tell you that. I mean,
Yeah.
the enemy can't take
Can't.
your soul. Your soul
No.
belongs to the Lord. Your spirit belongs to the Lord. But he can try and take you out.
Yeah.
He will try and take you out because he knows the impact you're making in people's lives. You're going to help save souls. You're going to win people over
Yeah.
for the kingdom of God,
Yeah.
and he's going to try and eliminate you any way he can. If even make you lose your mind maybe by
Yeah.
taking stuff away from you. And
Man, like right now, JC, after this last moment, I had a time to reflect. And this is something so valuable. I have edited so many great projects because I'm a senior editor as well when I'm not directing and producing. Um, this is the first time ever that I was ever to edit a project with no stress. So I did all this great stuff. I don't even know what this version of Curshion is because I don't have the stress doing it now. Because I had to rest. I was doing so much. I'm talking about the heavyweight. I mean, so much. My girl told me when I was in the hospital, my team tells me this all the time. She had my phone and she told my business partner, I never knew how much Curshion did until I had his phone when he was in the hospital and his phone was going off, not stopping. Like my phone was constantly going off, bro. Emails, calls, boom, this. Like I'm wearing 50,000 different hats, like at the same time. And only can delegate with certain people because you don't have the money to pay them. You know what I mean? So you got to be
yeah,
strategic about paying the right person and doing this. So people say, why we can delegate? I had nobody to delegate because what I'm doing, they don't know how to do. So, it's like all the stuff that comes with entrepreneurship. It's hard.
yeah.
It's very hard. Um, but I had to learn that through this time. And God told me, like, before I even went into the hospital, this was a crazy thing. He said, I woke up and I started looking through stuff and I was like, none of this stuff matters to me anymore. Like none of this worldly possession. I'm trying to tell you, bro, like none of it matters to me.
It doesn't.
I, I yes, gotta have roof over head, life. My life, pay bills. Yes, you're gonna have to do that. Sometimes, bro, I can't even pay bills because I'm an entrepreneur and I gotta pay other people and I get evicted and I had to get a place. This is stuff story. I've been evicted like 2 times, bro. Like off of people seeing the smile on my face and etc. And so when they see that success, whatever they identify as success, and I'm able to be fluently, new levels, new devils, and they get to see me on this pedestal that they put me on, whatever it is, understand that there was a story and a journey under this. Understand, like, I risked it all. I didn't have a plan B, Jay-Z. That's the main thing. Everything I did. So, yes, it came down when my body broke down. Yes, it came when God set me down, if that was him. But no, it was time for me to think and reflect because I came back stronger, right? I came back stronger to be able to think because things are still rolling. I got to see who's really on my corner. I got to see the people that almost died, bro, and my phone stopped ringing. I'm going to say that again. Almost died. And the people you thought they're going to call you to check up on you, don't. Crazy. And a stranger, complete strangers like you, people that start Facebook that are checking on me more than the people I thought that was close to my circle. It's wild, man. So
Unfortunately,
wow.
that's even something even family
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, because I know me, I don't expect everybody to do what I do, right? That's what makes
Right.
me me. But I know that if I started a brotherhood with JC and stuff was going on, I'm checking on him through text, and he has to not text me. I don't have to call him every day because he's probably going through stuff. But hey, bro, I'm thinking about you, hoping you're all right. Yes, we're going through. I know what I would do amongst that. You don't always expect it back. So, like I said, this journey, man, has been very eye opening. I just wrote that the other day. It's been very eye opening to where I seen how many people really support me. Not that I asked for it, but I seen like during this time, like one of my good friends put a GoFundMe out for me. I felt so belittled. You know what I mean? Just me, just personal stuff that man go to like, I'm gonna ask for help. Yes, I needed it. Like I felt it a shame. He had to put it out, and people started giving to this. I'm like, out of work, bro. I made money by doing this. I made money by I couldn't do anything. You know, out of that money, I was able to buy me a working laptop because I worked at my corporate office. I didn't have as an editor, I didn't have a laptop, JC. I had to always go to the office and stay the night at the office multiple days with my kids. You feel me? With the people like staying overnight there. I'm talking about the true life of a entrepreneur. With my kids sleeping on the couch there, working overnight, staying up for 3 or 4 days trying to finish stuff with all this stress. I had to literally, somebody had to force the money that was given to pay bills. That's what the GoFundMe is, to pay bills and get you by. Like I had to get a laptop because that's how I'm able to make money by editing at home. I don't have to be in the office all day because I have amazing computers at the office, right?
Yeah.
So I had to get stuff like that. So people make fun of it now. Like one of my good friends, Vanessa too, she said the same thing. She seen me today for the first time since I've been out the hospital. It's been a month. She said she like hit the computer because I was in the office today for the first time. She was like, isn't that funny how God, you get blessed with a computer that you've been asking for like 2 years? Bro, I've been asking for a computer just to work, just to be able to be home. And like, you never know you have to go through this stuff. So like, I thank God for the new covenant relationships, you know, the people that's coming around, the people that's understanding, man, because I know I would continue to go through stuff, but it's just eye opening, man. And it hurts sometimes when I sit back and I'm like, I don't have no malice in my heart, and people try to put malice because they're telling lies. You know what I mean? You got to sit back and don't say nothing during this time, and that's where majority of the stress came from too. I could say everything. I had to keep my mouth shut. People I'm helping talking so bad, lying, and I have never said nothing. And they keep looking, seeing the fruits of the labor. I'm like, man, I really just want to show the receipts of the lies. But God said, there were, you want me to fight your battle or do you want to? I had to learn that. Yes, behind the scenes, I'm cussing people out of my brain. Behind the scenes, I'm talking, I'm venting to you. Behind the scenes, yes, I am doing that because I have no other way to get it out other than giving to God. I'm like, God, what the hell is going on here? What is doing? What am I doing wrong, God? It's nothing. I need you to pay attention to me. Stop trying to look around the corner. That's what I'm learning. I had to stop looking around the corner and I had to set boundaries, JC. I didn't have any boundaries, bro.
That is a mistake that a lot of us do. We need to set boundaries. Sometimes we need to say certain people, including family, including some friends, workers, co-workers, sometimes even church people. We need to say, you know what? I need space. I need time. The only people you do not say that to is your spouse,
The
your
spouse.
kids,
Yep.
sometimes
Yep.
parents, even sometimes to your parents. You gotta say, hey,
Yeah.
this is not a healthy relationship for me right now.
Yep. I had to learn
You
that
need
now.
it happens,
And,
bro.
and you start hearing, oh, why are you being so rude? Whoa, I'm being rude because I'm speaking up now. That's interesting. You know what I mean? Because they see the passive. They see, oh, I'm gonna let it go. No, I'm speaking up. What is something I don't like? I don't like. Well, you didn't have to say it like that. Yes, I did. I'm sorry if I offended you because you never see me say it like this.
And that's the problem. And you might be saying it the nicest way, but for 35, 40 years, whatever
Yes.
long you've been a sucker.
Yes.
I was like that. That's why I
Yeah.
said I no disrespect to you, but
Yeah.
I was like that. I was
Yes.
walked over, run over, whatever anybody said. JC did, I was yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden I stand up for myself. Whoa, JC has an attitude. No. JC don't have an attitude.
No.
Curshion ain't got no attitude. He just woke up and he's standing on his own 2 feet.
Yeah.
Ain't him. It's about time that God gave us a brain. He gave us a mouth.
Yeah.
Respectful, but hey, this is how things are gonna go from now on, and we need space. Yeah,
Yes.
man. Good for you, man. Good for you. good for you. And yeah, and take care of yourself as much as because you don't want to end up back in the hospital.
Yep.
You know,
And I got two babies, man. I have a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. You know.
no, they come first.
Yep.
After God, they come
Yep.
first.
Yep.
And you and you say you have a girlfriend,
I have a
fiance or girlfriend or
girlfriend now. Yes.
good. How long you guys been together?
A year.
Cool, man. Good
Yeah.
for you. You know, and
A year.
wish you the best for that as
Yeah.
well. What's in store for Curshion Jones on the remainder of 24 and the new year coming up? To man, we are at the end of the year already,
Yeah,
dude.
man. Fourth quarter.
Bro, we are at the end of the year already. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But what's next? What's coming up? What's coming
Man.
up?
Be honest, I don't know.
And that's
Uh,
okay.
my eye has been pushing this movie because it's opening doors. I can tell you the tangible things. It's been pushing this movie because the more and more people hear this movie, man, it's changing people's lives. Like it really is. It's crazy. I want to push that to too many people. We're planning to shoot about 2 more films before the end of the year.
Okay.
That's the plan. We have this spoof comedy. We have this faith-based one. Hopefully, we can get off the ground, or this Christmas one. You know, what I mean, it's thriller. So we have like 3 to pick from to move around. Whatever funding comes first and budget, then we'll be able to do that. Because we're trying to store the house to be prepared for 2025. We're trying to because films is IP, right?
Mm.
And now that we're learning the industry, this is to be able. This is generational wealth for our children, right? It's just like real estate. That's what movies are. Just like real estate. That's why people invest in it. So it's to continue to care for myself, to lose this weight, right? To eat right, and to be able to produce these other films efficiently with a clear mind and no stress. You know,
Yeah.
and to continue to spread the gospel the best way I can, and create opportunities for people. You know, the more I'm able to be elevated, the more I'm able to elevate others. You know, so that's it in a nutshell.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, get go on this vacation. Been working hard.
Very important. Very important.
And if
Take time off.
anybody that wants to listen to this once it goes out, you know, you can always Zelle me. You know, we always all the donations work. But yeah, man, that's what I have in my mind. Um,
What is your favorite? What is your favorite Bible verse? What's your go-to Bible verse that's encouraging to you?
oh man, faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things unseen.
Amen. Amen. What's your favorite Bible book? What's your favorite book of the
Job,
Bible?
Proverbs, Joshua. Yeah, that's my thing. Job, Proverbs.
I figured you were going to say Job because of what you said earlier. I figured Job was going to be it, but yeah,
Proverbs, that's the book of wisdom, man. I'm always
yeah,
reading that.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's majority of the Bible verses I like. And God's really had me on Matthew lately. Um, can I can I share something before we
Absolutely,
come in?
absolutely, of course,
So
please.
if people don't let's see, let me show you this. Um, this is something that I wrote in 2013, 2013, 2014. So this shows the essence of me. Um, let's see, real quick. And I read it like every day. Hold on. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. Please, no need to apologize.
See, these new updates, is always kicking my butt on this. Uh, okay. I don't know if I can find it, but this update always does this. Let's see. I don't know. I probably have to share it afterwards. It's always doing this on my phone for some reason. Let me see if I can do it on this computer real quick. This is something that I literally read all the time. It's what I wrote. It takes.
You should be able to search it, and
Yeah, I am, man, and it always.
there should be a search bar. So
Yeah,
in your saved files, there should be a search bar. It should.
yeah, but it's always Yeah, I don't know where it's at, but like I said, it's something that I wrote. I wish I was able to read it. I, it doesn't go out of my notes, but it doesn't pop up all the time. I don't know why, but it's something that I wrote in 20. Hey, there it goes right there. Look at God loves me. So, and I typed in all that. So, if people want to know the essence of me, I wrote this before I started any of who Curshion is right now. So you get to see it. This is 2012, 2013, around that time. This is amazing. Um, read it. It says, it takes, I'm gonna say it again. This is before Curshion of people know now. I was writing what God is doing now, right? I said, it takes one person to believe in you, God. It takes one person to send those people in your life to believe in your dreams, God. What I notice is that I don't have the money to produce everything in my mind yet. My name in public does not have the credits for someone to say, hey, that's Curshion Jones. I would love to jump on your project. But what I do have is faith. I live by it every day. Not when my back is against the wall or when things are not going my way, I decide to turn to faith. It's in my lifestyle, it's in me. The worst thing someone can say is no. So don't live in fear. If you believe in something, go get it. It's already yours. I already made my mind up. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to work hard and make opportunities for others. I'm willing to help without the necessary funds. I will impact this nation through film, television, counseling, acting, and the list can go on. Just know I only do it for ministry and not personal gain, but I know God will provide. It's on his time, not mine. So for all the no's you received, it only takes one yes. So what's stopping you from getting that one yes? I said I want to share something with y'all. I wrote this in 2012. It's something that I read every single morning. I wrote this before all the past success, before all the future success, and before the thing that's happening in my life right now. Always know why you do what you do, and don't let anyone take you off your path. Don't let the trials dictate your future. These past few months, God has showed me a lot of stuff, and I'm standing in His obedience is way more important than the sacrifice. This 20, that last bit was what I was just reflecting on what I wrote in 2012, but I wrote that in 2012. And
Wow.
whatever stands for me, it says, I will impact this nation through film, TV, television, counseling, and acting. And the list can go on. I said, I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to work hard to make opportunities. I said that when you first interviewed me. It's been living with me the whole time. You understand if this is your purpose if you never change up what your purpose is. I've been saying that since I started, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. And it's obviously the love you have for the Lord,
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's obvious who your influence or who your motivation is.
Hmm.
It's obvious why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's just keep at it, man. We're definitely gonna stay in touch.
Thank you.
And you have a fan here, you have a
Yeah.
supporter here, and I'm gonna be sharing whatever you put out.
And let me know what I can do for your podcast, man. You know, I have a podcast studio at my place. I know where we stay at. If you ever want to go from the live streaming, we do people's podcast. Let me see how I can bless you, bro. If you just want to do one episode differently through there, man, I chop it up. I make it look live. I give you the promo clips. I do everything from me to you. You can come into the studio. We do something nice and go from there, man.
Oh man, you're a blessing, man. I'm in Forney. I'm not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm in Forney. I'm in
Okay.
Kaufman County. I'm
Okay.
not far. I'm not far from Dallas County.
Okay, cool.
But man, it'll be cool, man,
Yeah.
to meet up one day, man. It'll be cool to
Yeah.
meet up one day, for coffee or
Yeah.
So I appreciate that offer, man.
Yeah.
I will definitely take you up on that.
Yeah. No problem, man.
And it'll be cool to do this again.
Yeah.
To do this again. I'm about to wrap up the season.
Okay.
I'm gonna do up to episode 50. Then
Wow.
I'm gonna close up, and then I'm gonna restart up again in February.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing from February. Only gonna be doing from February to October every year from there on.
Oh, awesome.
Because it can be exhausting. And even though I'm having fun,
Yeah.
but I think it's just better just to cut it a piece and go
Yep.
by season. So,
For
but
sure.
man, I really, really appreciate you coming on, taking the
Thank you,
time,
man.
sharing your story, man.
Thank you.
It was very inspiring, very encouraging.
Yeah.
It's very encouraging. I mean, people. I hope people out there are gonna watch this episode, even if it's one person
Yeah.
that get the courage. We did our job, and you did your job.
Thank you so much, man. Go see Twisted Hearts. You know, it's right there. Twisted Hearts
Yeah,
in the back, man.
yeah, folks. Make sure you go check out this film. October
11.
11th, is it,
Yep.
or October 6th? Is it October
11.
6th?
11.
October 11th. Do we have ceremony? Is it gonna be?
It's gonna
It
be
come,
all the major networks: the AMC, Look Theater, Studio Movie Grill. You can find it.
You're gonna be October 11th.
Yeah, October 11th. Yep.
Okay, cool, man, cool.
Mhm.
So folks, so make sure you come out, go out, get your tickets, and go check out Twisted Hearts.
Yes.
Curshion, God bless you, man.
Bless
God
you.
bless
Thank
you.
you.
God bless your children and your
Thank you.
girlfriend, man.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon, man.